Hey guys, welcome back to Adlib Talk, and this is my review for Apple TV Plus's latest series, Blackbird. So, Blackbird is a crime drama limited series which is developed by Dennis Lehane with the story based on an autobiographical novel called In with the Devil, a fallen hero, a serial killer, and a dangerous bargain for redemption by James Keene. Now, James Keene is in fact our main protagonist here, with the excellent Taron Egerton portraying the criminal turned police informant. Egerton is surrounded by an impressive cast, including the likes of Paul Walter Hauser, Greg Kinnear, Sepideh Moafi, and even the brilliant Ray Liotta. Now, going in completely dark as to the event and actual real-life story was, funnily enough, the best way to approach this series, which has just released its first 2 episodes of a total of 6 episodes, telling the story of Jimmy, James Keene, the son of a famous cop and a once successful sportsman with what he calls a $1 million smile, who is now a drug dealer, whom, however, is caught by the FBI after spending the night partying with a random girl. Now, taking advice from his dad, Keene pleads guilty, but the DA had apparently lied to his father, and instead of the promised 5, he instead is given 10 years. 7 months later, we see the DA, who pays Keene once more a visit in prison, offering him a way out of the remaining years in prison. Keene must transfer to a maximum security prison filled with the criminally insane and befriend Larry Hall, a man accused of killing up to 14 women. If Keene manages to get a confession out of him, he would be able to end his time in prison. Now, the series switches between the actual investigation itself, in which we see Detective Brian Miller's attempt to catch the serial killer lead to frustration as the judge dismisses his accusations due to a number of reasons: Larry Hall's wish to please everyone, as well as his claims of a personality disorder, thus confessing to a crime that at least the judge believes he did not commit. Therefore, it is now up to Keene to get that confession out of Larry and stop the man from being released and potentially killing more girls. Now, the story itself seems quite Hollywood, so finding out that this is actually based on real life events shocked me. I think we need to start talking about showrunner Dennis Lehane, who is a well-known author, famous for writing a number of mystery novels which were adapted into very, very famous movies like Mystic River, like Gone Baby Gone, and Shutter Island. He has also been involved with a number of successful productions, movies and series like The Wire, like Boardwalk Empire, and The Drop. You can feel those influences very strongly here, as Lehane has given us a very gritty series that, whilst on the surface seems to just be another crime drama, upon viewing you will instantly be compelled to continue watching for a number of reasons. The direction and writing is one of the major reasons why. The dialogue between the characters is compelling, there's a lot of gravitas here, and the actors are given a lot to work with. I was instantly impressed by the relationship between Jimmy and his father. We'll talk about the actors in a bit, but I must say that in just a few scenes we managed to build a really strong relationship between the two, and I was personally emotionally invested in the whole thing. Now, you could feel the guilt that big Jim Keene feels for the situation his son ended in, and the consequences of said guilt are truly heartbreaking. Now, I must also praise the writing for the great pace that we have here. Only 2 episodes have been released so far, but the 2 hours I spent watching them literally flew by, and we haven't even reached the interesting part of the series, where we get to see Jimmy's attempts to befriend Larry Hall and get the confession out of him. The setup, however, was done really well and just flew by. and could feel the development of the tension throughout those 2 hours, which is truly impressive. This is obviously helped by some very, very good performances by a number of actors. I must say the casting for the series has been truly top-notch. Taron Egerton is perfect in this role. I have been a big fan of him since watching him for the first time as Eggsy in Kingsman, and was truly impressed once more by his performance here after the excellent role he had as Elton John in Rocketman. He really did bulk up for this series, and again, it fits this role really well. His charisma and kind of like alpha male approach really does make him quite unlikable, but there is enough nuanced humanity in there not to make him too unlikable. The relationship with his dad, like I mentioned before, is the emotional core of this series. It is the main reason why we also see Egerton's character Jimmy motivate him to transfer to a much more dangerous prison in the first place. The fear of seeing his dad die due to the stress caused by the whole situation. However, I also love the fear we could clearly see in his eyes as they approached the new prison he was being transferred to. You could tell all that kind of like tough guy bravado was just a front to cover how scared he truly was. And seeing him squirm in his bed at the end of episode 2 almost made me myself feel scared for him, despite really disliking what I had seen out of his character so far. So props to Egerton for an amazing performance so far. But now we must also mention the most impressive performance here, and one which I'm sure will get a lot of attention, possibly even Emmy attention, which is that by Paul Walter Hauser as Larry Hall, whom you might remember as Horace in Cruella. First of all, Hauser really does look the part, and those sideburns make him all the more creepy. However, when I heard him speak with that high-pitched voice, I started questioning whether it was possible that he could actually be the killer. I had found it very hard so far to believe that, and I'm curious to see how this will develop. Hauser is pitch perfect in the role. He is actually quite low-key in his approach, in the sense that he's not shouting or crying, apart from one particular scene, like a madman. He just seems to be a lonely, depressed man who wants companionship, so he spends his time speaking to detectives and confessing to crimes he might or might not have done. Could this man possibly be the serial killer who killed 14 girls? I guess we'll find out, or else you can look up the story on Wikipedia. Finally, a small comment for Ray Liotta, who, like I said before, has great chemistry with Egerton and gives an impressive, heartfelt performance as Jimmy's father. Apple TV has become one of those streaming services that gets me really excited about anything it releases. It's pure quality. Blackbird is another great release so far, with some very good cinematography and impressive production value. But what will set it apart from other crime drama series is its enviable cast, with some career high performances, as well as the sharp writing by Dennis Lehane. Give this one a go. You will not be disappointed. My rating for the first 2 episodes of Blackbird is a 4.5 out of 5. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that review, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it, and please do consider subscribing. Cheers, and I'll see you guys next time right here on AdLib Talk.